everyone, it's Rita with Everything Homemade, and we are going to do dehydrated carrots. So what I have showed you so far is how to can carrots. I showed you how to store them in sand. I showed you how to store them in the fridge. And the last preservation method that I'm going to show you is how to dehydrate them. Now, I do all four methods, and it depends what I want to do. Dehydrated carrots are awesome for stews and soup. So what I like to do is dehydrate some onions, dehydrate some carrots, possibly some peppers, some celery, the stalks and the leaves, and then I put it into a mix. And then when I'm making, let's say, a roast, or I'm cooking a big pot of soup, all I do is take a handful, throw it in, and into the slow cooker it goes, and it cooks with the rest of the meat. So it's really, really quick that way. So I like all the methods. I do all of them because it tastes good. Canned carrots are awesome. Stored carrots are great to have fresh carrots in the middle of winter. Getting rid of the small carrots in the fridge and eating them first is great. So there is no waste. At whatever size carrots you have, you can always find a solution on how to preserve them. So the last bit of carrots, we have a 5-gallon pail full of, look at my finger. I mean, they're about finger size. Just a whole bunch of random carrots that I need some more dehydrated carrots. So we're going to do 5 gallons of, turning 5 gallons of fresh carrots into dehydrated carrots. Now I'm going to slice them thinly with my food processor. You could do this with a knife. I just find the food processor to go a lot quicker. So what do you need for this? You obviously need washed carrots. Then you need some trays or whatever your dehydrator has. Mine, I can stack trays up. I'm going to be using a food processor. Like I said, you could just, cut these with a knife. The other thing you could do is, I'm slicing them. You can also grate them. Now, just remember, when you grate them, they're going to be quite small when you dehydrate them, right? So it depends. Do you like slices in your soups and stews and mixes, or do you like them more fine where they kind of cook and dissolve within things? So that is just whatever you prefer. So the first thing you need to do is have the ends of your carrot chopped off and where the root is. Now these ones are done, and I'm going to show you from my bowl here that are full of carrots that are freshly washed. I'm going to show you what to do. So the first thing you need to do is chop off the root, and I'm not taking a lot off, and then just a little bit of the top. So you can see here that I'm not wasting a lot of carrot. All I am is just cleaning up the root part and the top. So, and I just have a compost bucket here that I'm putting it in because there are many critters on the farm that will eat these. So I'm just going to basically continue doing this until I got quite a few carrots processed with their tops and roots off. Okay, so after we have a bowl full of carrots, the next step is to throw them through the food processor. Like I said, you can do this all with a knife, but it goes a lot quicker when we are slicing them. So set up your food processor for slicing. What we're going to do is just throw them in on the top here, and because these are smaller, I just fill my spout up here, just like so. I take the top and I just pulse it. Just like that. So now you can see why I love the food processor over doing this with my hands, because there's a lot of carrots to chop. Once I have my food processor full, we go off to the table where the dehydrator trays are, and now we need to put it on the dehydrator trays. Okay, so I have a tray here, and I do have a screen. Otherwise, you could get away with the screen with these, but everything just pops out a lot quicker. So I have my carrots here. Basically, what I want to do is just grab my carrots and just dump them onto the dehydrator tray, just like this. So I don't get too worried about them overlapping a little bit. You can make them pretty snug, and you can see here that I've cut some fairly good size because I like the flavor of stewed carrots, so I like to see them. So that's why I kind of chop them a little bit bigger. Like I said, you can do this in any way you want to do it. It doesn't matter. So you just go ahead, put them on your tray, and remember, they're gonna shrink. And so if they touch each other, it's no big deal at all. So we're gonna keep on putting them on. You can get quite a bit to one tray. And you can overlap too, because when you cut them, you're cutting on both sides, so they're going to dehydrate really quick. And so I'm not worried about having them pack like this. They will dehydrate just fine. Now in some other cases you definitely don't want to do this, but with carrots you can get away with it. So that's what one tray looks like. Then basically we take another tray on top like that, and then we continue doing the same thing. And so we're going to continue this until we're done all the carrots, and then we're going to put them on the dehydrator. Okay, so now that we have the dehydrators filled, we have the 5-gallon pail of fresh carrots chopped. I have my dehydrators on at 120 Fahrenheit, and it'll take about 48 hours, so 2 days, to get these all dried. And you can see how much I have packed them. Now, if you're still wondering, oh, you can't do it that close, take a look at what it looks finished. So this is a tray that I did a little bit ahead of time. This is a day and a half, and you can tell this is how full the tray was, looking just like the other one. And you can see now all the space in between. You know, the big ones, they're shriveling up. It's almost done. I can break them and they are just about ready to go. The smaller pieces here are done. I can break them apart, no problem. But I will let these run for about a few more hours and they should be done. Again, this one only had like a little bit of what I chopped. And then I did another full tray. So they definitely, don't be scared to pack in the carrots. Now I'm going to remind you that this does not hold true for everything. You don't want to do this for apples and bananas and stuff like that. For carrots, you can just be lazy and pile it in and it is no problem. So that is really nice with carrots, that you don't have to be so picky putting it on your dehydrator tray. But when this is done, you know, I wait till I hear the crisp, okay, sound. So when you grab it, it feels very dry. You can hear that crisp. I do that a lot with lettuce dehydrating, stuff like that. So what do you do for storage? Well, why don't we head to my cold storage? Okay, you guys, we are in my cold storage and I'm going to just show you some examples on how I store dried goods. So I really collect anything to put things in. So this is a tea mix of my dried chamomile and some lemongrass all mixed together. I've got canning jars. I've got I think this was a cashew cashew container with parsley, dried parsley. We got some canning here. Then off to the side here, we have these were used olive jugs that a company was throwing away. So we literally took all their olive jugs. You see, I got quite a bit of them. We use just, these are dried potatoes that are in here. You know, they're just in, I think these were mayonnaise they're mayonnaise from Safeway. Like, you know, grocery stores that throw away buckets are the perfect place to look. When we order salt, I get them into these nice buckets. These are actually salt, but I always repurpose the buckets. Again, what else can I show you here? I've got dried peppermint just in these were old ice cream containers. They work awesome. So if you know a ice cream stand or someplace that sells those really gourmet ice creams, ask for their containers. A lot of times they'll give them for free, or I bought like 20 for $1 each. So 20 bucks, I got 20 huge containers. So that is dirt cheap. You can't get it cheaper than that besides free. I got some canning here. What else can I show you? Basically, oh, these ones here, I think my husband picked up at PV Mart. So they actually got like a rubber seal on them. And this here is dried cherries that we dried. So that should give you an example. You know, like these peanut butter containers, when I'm done with it, they make perfect, you know, for little tea mixes or something like that. So just think outside the box. You don't got to spend a lot of money to store things. You just got to be thrifty. Look at the thrift stores. Look around you. Look at people giving containers away for free on Kijiji or Craigslist or wherever you guys look, in whatever country. Just think about stuff that you can store. And you know, my larger stuff is in Rubbermaids. You know, I buy food in bulk, so this is full of white beans, and we got split peas. So everything is organized here in a style of totally different kind of containers and pails. Just make sure the lid seals. That is the key. You don't want a weak lid. You want stuff that seals tight. So back to the carrots here, simply take them off the dehydrator tray, so it's really simple. And you can see too that, you know, the little tiny pieces, that's why it's really important to have this screen on, because otherwise these little tiny pieces would fall through. So it's really simple to take off. Remember, whenever you're using the dehydrator, that you turn off your dehydrator and at least wait 1 hour before you put your dried goods away, because there's a little bit of heat on the food, and you don't want that heat trapped in your container, and that can add a little condensation. So just let things dry. You know, I like to turn my dehydrators off in the morning and then have breakfast and deal with things after or whenever, but at least it has a full time to cool down. Your product has cooled down and it goes safely in a container, and it will last for a very long time. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one.